Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Rinks, and I am the Seeking Nobody. In today's video is going to be another AEW related topic. We're going to talk about the bunny, Allie. Allie's actually been turning it up recently in AEW, and I kind of wanted to take this moment to look back into her AEW career. So with that out of the way, let's get right into it. Let's go back all the way back into the beginning of AEW when it first started. She was actually another one of the first signees in the women's division. Around mid-March is when they signed her. She didn't really have her first official match until Fight for the Fallen against Brandy. And then from there, and then for the rest of the summer, she seemed to have like a mini feud with Brandy Rhodes. Things got really intense until Brandy and Awesome Kong attacked Allie, and then they actually cut her hair as a part of their Nightmare Collective gimmick. And because of this, Allie debuted a new character in the coming weeks known as the Bunny, debuting with the Butcher and Blade, one of my favorite tag teams in AEW. I just love their gimmick so much. To focus more on Allie, Allie's gimmick is really good. That I love the kind of like the psychological horror-esque of the Bunny. She's actually revealed in a recent podcast in AEW Unrestricted. The idea of the Bunny actually came from her. She has been going through some mental health issues and problems. And it's such a good concept when a wrestler takes something real life and they're able to apply it to themselves into the wrestling, into the persona, and then it just evolves over time. And this is not the first time she has done something like this. In Impact Wrestling, she's actually took on numerous personas of that. But with Allie, she was merely just there with the Butcher and Blade. She'll get some chops in every now and then, and she'll wrestle every so often. So, over time, I was going to be, okay, will she get a title shot? I would like to see more. It's because I know Allie is a very capable wrestler, and the more time grew on, the more it's like, are they going to pull the trigger, or do they have something for her? Because as much as I like to see her beside the ring, I like to see her inside the ring as well. Then one day, out of the blue, she just splits from the Butcher and Blade, and she was courting QT Marshall, and it didn't really explain why either. Just out of the blue, she just came from the stands, she ate an apple, and that was it. She was just with QT Marshall. This is not to be disrespectful towards Allie or even to QT. It's just the idea of why are we pairing them together? And I've also stated that in my women's division video I did last year, because I'm not really fond of the idea. For months, she was with, I guess, with the Nightmare family, and it just seemed like she wasn't really wanting to be there. Not only was she paired with QT Marshall, she was also a tag team with Brandy Rhodes for a little bit, and it just seemed like, are they trying to recreate the Nightmare Collective just in a different, like in a face point of view, not the Nightmare Collective when it was a heel faction? The idea would be good if there was some payoff, and eventually we never really got a payoff from it. It seemed like, again, what I said in the women's division video is that it was to elevate Brandy, but not really Allie, because again, Allie would be the one that should be elevated just the same, if not more. What would be a good concept was that in the end, she ends up betraying Brandy, say like, you think I've forgotten that you cut my hair, that you made me this way, you made me turn into the bunny? And that would be such a good grasp into how real life is, about how people, certain events happen to us, and then it turns us into something completely different, maybe even exposing who we really are inside. But they didn't do that, but instead we got a tag team tournament, which was alright, but in hindsight, it didn't really do anything for Brandy, and it also didn't do anything for Allie, for sure. When Eddie Kingston came to AEW, and he started this family of sorts with the Lucha Bros and with the Butcher and Blade, he made a point to Blade saying, hey, we need to fix your family. So in the coming weeks, Allie just came back a part of this family and back with Butcher and Blade. And the reason was that Allie's was just using QT Marshall for his money.
Bunny, the whole world wants to know why you turned on, not Dustin, not Cody, Not Brandy. Who was the guy?
You're so close. QT Marshall.
Oh, so you tell the world why you turned on QT Marshall.
Yes. No, I'm so glad you asked me that. But let me ask you a question. Why do you think it was so easy for me to infiltrate the Nightmare family? I mean, all I had to do was look in QT's direction, and he was falling all over himself to get with me. It was like a cat playing with a mouse. I mean, I wasn't even nice to the guy, and he was buying me so much stuff. I mean, he bought a Corvette. He gave me all of his credit cards. Like,
oh, man.
And, you know, like, that was fun. It was great while it lasted. But, to be honest with you, I just got bored.
Ooh.
And, you know, I'm sorry, QT, but you were just collateral damage. And now, I'm back with my real family.
I will admit, again, it's a little bit much better, the payoff, but I still didn't like how things progressed, because at first, it didn't make sense for her to leave the Butcher and Blade, and then it didn't make sense for her to just leave QT Marshall and then go back to Butcher and Blade. But with certain things, I think it's good to just end it there and then pay no mind to it and don't mention it again. But going back to Allie, being with the family, especially back, she turned out to be more aggressive, that she turned more violent. It's like as if she was taking comments from that angle, and then she uses the way to work out her anger in that scenario. Even in the bull rope match, I just love that she was toying with QT Marshall. After their feud with the Nightmare family, they moved on, and they've actually joined the Hardy Foundation office, seeing them as the Butcher and Blade and Bunny, that they're mercenaries for hire. And Allie actually started wrestling again. I think in my video I mentioned that I didn't know why they weren't using her, or she wasn't wrestling as much. I did find out that she did want to manage for a little while, that she wasn't up to wrestling. But now she started wrestling again, and I was actually very excited to see that. And then seeing her matches, that not only is she a good wrestler, some of the taunts that she do to her opponent.
Running knee lift there by
the way she bites at the camera, the way she just laughs, the way she yells and screams. It just feels like a horror movie. Also carries a brass knucks with her, and it just makes her even more violent. This is not a bunny to turn a blind eye to. And that's what I've been liking from her. That's what I've been noticing about a lot of the women's division, is that a lot of these competitors, they're getting a bit more aggressive, and I think that's what we're needing in the division, is that they need to become aggressive. They need to, and I wouldn't say violent, but show them why you need to take them seriously, or show them why that they're a force to be reckoned with. With the bunny, it seems like she's found her footing with her character, and it's a good fit for her. I think she's going in the grooves, that she is finding her place, and she's actually having really good matches. Like the last match that I watched recording this video is her against Statlander, and that match was actually pretty good. She had a really good one with Red Velvet, and it just seems like the more you're giving her opponents, the more her credibility builds. I would actually like to see her in a cinematic match, or even an unsanctioned match. If anything that Baker and Rosa, that match did, I think any of the other competitors can benefit from, especially since people love the idea that women can beat the hell out of you too. Even the cinematic match, I can see the bunny using kind of like a haunted house, or like something like from a horror movie, like, because Allie loves horror movies, play that into her, like use several ideas that you can go physical, you can go with like the blood and gore if you want, or go psychological, which I've been noticing that with her, that she uses more psychological more than actual blood and gore stuff. And potential feuds, I would like to see her go again with Chris Statlander. I felt like that could actually be a feud if given enough time. Even Abaddon, like I would love for these two to either work with each other or be against each other, and maybe perform a cinematic match. Overall, the Bunny is such a great character, and it's time that people need to look. So she has found a character that she can work with in AEW. She has finally turned it into something that she can work with. And I really look forward to seeing more of what the Bunny can do in AEW. And that's it. We're done talking about the Bunny. Let's wrap up the video. Hit the notification bell to let you know when some more of my videos will come out. Also, like, subscribe, share, as that will let my channel grow. Also, follow me on other social medias as well. Until next time, thank you for talking with me.